Hi, welcome back. Our next session is going to be in English, and I'm happy to introduce Dennis Torres. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, good afternoon.
So Dennis is originally from Brazil, currently living in Malta. He's a software architect and a data platform MVP, more than 20 years of experience with SQL Server and software development in general. And he's going to talk about Azure Synapse Analytics, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so stage is yours.
Okay, let's start. So, my name is Dennis. I live in Malta. I'm only 1 hour difference from you, from people from Israel. I'll talk about why Synapse Analytics is beyond Azure SQL Datawarehouse. So we are starting this session with a question. Why Synapse Analytics is beyond Azure SQL Datawarehouse? Let's analyze these questions and move forward. So that's me. Dennis Torres, Data Platform MVP, trainer. I'm the leader of the Malta Data Platform User Group. Our site has many technical content and my contacts. Feel free to get in touch, connect. Feel free to get my contacts and connect. Uh, Ask any questions or anything. So our agenda today. Why am I asking this? We started the session with a question. So why am I asking this? Why Synapse Analytics? What Synapse Analytics and how Synapse Analytics works? So why am I asking this? Why am I asking about the relation between Synapse Analytics and SQL Datawarehouse? Because before we had SQL Datawarehouse, and then something happened. SQL Datawarehouse doesn't exist anymore. And now we have Synapse Analytics. Was this a name changing? No. Was this an upgrade of SQL Datawarehouse? I can't call this an upgrade. It's something different. I don't have a name for this. It was a replacement. SQL Datawarehouse with the name died. All its features are inside Synapse Analytics, but Synapse Analytics is way more than SQL Datawarehouse. And that's what I will be showing on this session. Why Synapse Analytics? Why we needed this change? Because many clients from Microsoft were already complaining that the tools were on the 80s and we need to evolve these tools. Why the tools are from 80s? Uh, Let me show you. If we needed to create a big data house, and emphasis on the big, we would use SQL Data Warehouse. If we need to create a data lake, we would need Spark and Databricks. If we need to make an ETL or ingestion to build either data lake or big data warehouses, we would use Data Factory. If we need to use machine learning to discover some new intelligence over our data lake or big data warehouse, we would use Azure Machine Learning. If we need to visualize this data in good ways, storytelling and so on, we would use Power BI. If we need to build a data lake house, we would use Alt Tab to change from one tool to another because there is not a single tool capable to make a data lake house. We need to merge everything together. If we need to build a virtual data lake house, in this case, we need to dream with it because there was no tool before capable to build a virtual data lake house. It was not possible. It just was not possible. So this is us with these tools. See, this is how we were before Synapse Analytics, using all these tools to achieve our data platform objectives. And what happened? What happened was this. Microsoft just decided to put everything together. Microsoft decided to create a Swiss blade. In this way, making the learning curve easier and making the work easier. So we can achieve all these tasks. Big data warehouses, data lake, ETL, machine learning, visualization, data lake house, and virtual data lake house that we even hadn't before using Azure Synapse Analytics. One single tool. It's like Lord of the Rings. Have you watched a Lord of the Rings? One ring to rule them all. One single tool. That's Synapse Analytics. And that's explain the first question that I made. Why Synapse Analytics is so way beyond Azure SQL Datawarehouse? Synapse Analytics includes Azure SQL Datawarehouse, but includes many more tools. And doesn't mean that the other tools are disappearing. No way. SQL Datawarehouse among these tools is the only tool that really disappeared and now is part of Synapse Analytics. We use Synapse Analytics to use big data warehouse, to make big data warehouse. The only tool that disappeared is SQL Data Warehouse. All the others are integrated with Azure Synapse Analytics. We use one to rule them all. So that's Synapse Analytics. And this is what happens with the creation of Synapse Analytics. So we are evolving from the 80s to a real updated tool. So what's Synapse Analytics? Let's try to summarize this. Synapse Analytics is the Azure virtual and physical data lakehouse solution. It's a way to summarize what Synapse Analytics is. An Azure virtual and physical data lake warehouse solution. But Synapse Analytics can be used in so many scenarios that for this summary be valid, people need to understand all the subcontext on this. I even included virtual and physical, because if I say virtual, does not necessarily imply physical. It can do both, and by being able to do data lakehouse, it means that it can do data lakes, data warehouses, and even more ingestion, visualization, machine learning, and so on. How Synapse Analytics works? Sorry, it's lunchtime. I ate one letter on this lunchtime. So how Synapse Analytics works? We have Synapse Analytics. So when we are using Synapse Analytics, we create a workspace of Synapse Analytics. So we have the Synapse Analytics workspace. By creating this workspace, we have pools. Only one of the pools is the SQL on demand. If we would like, we can use Synapse Analytics only with the pool SQL on demand. And let me highlight this. It's a completely mind-changing for people who were using SQL Data Warehouse before, or people that knew SQL Data Warehouse before. Why? Because what people knew was that SQL Data Warehouse is restricted to very big data warehouse, because there are many features that a small data warehouse don't need at all, and it's very expensive. Yes, SQL data warehouse is expensive and continues to be expensive. But in other way, the Synapse SQL on-demand pool doesn't have a fixed price. I mean, it will not charge for time online, time turned on, or something like that. It's not charged by hour. It charges you by the amount of data you query. It's totally online, so it will reply to the queries at any time, and it will charge for the amount of data you are querying. If I'm not mistaken, is a value of $5 for each terabyte that you query. $5 for terabyte. How many terabytes do you query? So, a SQL on-demand is a great and cheap tool and not expensive tool to use, and I'm even about to write an article about this. It's very interesting. Then we have a SQL pool and a Spark pool. The SQL pool is the SQL data warehouse. Simple like that. SQL pool is the SQL data warehouse. That's it. It is the SQL data warehouse. So SQL data warehouse became part of Synapse Workspace, Synapse Analytics. We can say it changed the name, and the new name is SQL Pool. A SQL Pool as part of a Synapse Workspace. And as the original SQL data warehouse is an MPP architecture, this means it's a cluster of many servers, many nodes that will break down your query and break the processing among many nodes. And in the same way, we have a Spark pool that it's also an MPP architecture, so there are many nodes to process Spark jobs, and we can make Spark jobs over our data. And we can even access data across the pools. So the Spark pool can naturally access data on the SQL pool. And there is this cross pool access for the data. Besides that, we also have the Azure Synapse Studio. The Synapse Studio is an online app that Microsoft created to be the Synapse Switchblade. Synapse is the tool, and Synapse Studio is the app. Doesn't mean that you can only access Synapse by Synapse Studio. No, you can use other SQL Spark tools to connect directly to the pools. But on Synapse Studio, besides managing the pools, you can manage integration, data flows and data pipeline from Data Factory. You can create and manage them inside Synapse Studio. Power BI, so we can see visualizations directly in Synapse Studio. And Azure Machine Learning. You can start machine learning analysis on Azure Machine Learning directly from Synapse Studio. We are talking about a Switchblade. We are talking about changing all those tools that we had on the 80s from a smartphone. That's it. And like I said, Azure SQL Data Warehouse became SQL Pool. Let's see a demonstration about this. So let me get the browser. Browser is here. So let me make sure that I have my Zoom tool turned on. It would be a problem to not be able to zoom. So now it's on. That's it. Let's go to the browser. This is the Synapse Workspace, as you may notice. And here in the middle, we have the many endpoints that the Synapse Workspace has. Because we have a dedicated SQL endpoint is the SQL pool. The serverless endpoint is the SQL on-demand pool. And we have workspace management, URLs, and is it saying here the Spark pool? No, it's not saying here, but it's available as well. No problem. It's available as well. We can see the pools. We have here the SQL pool, so we can see built-in is the SQL on-demand type serverless. And my SQL pool is a dedicated SQL pool. It's a SQL Datawarehouse, which is paused at the moment. And we have Spark pools, my Spark pool. So I have everything in a single place. The idea was to reduce the learning curve for the data platform, the Microsoft data platform, and reduce the work as well for the data platform at all. Be able to do the work from a single place, from a single tool. Let me launch the Synapse Studio from the workspace, more specifically from the pool. I launch Synapse Studio here. So it's connecting. That's Synapse Studio. And that's absolutely great. First sign that we have everything is opening the new button, and we see what we can create from here. We can create a SQL script, we can create a notebook, we can create a data flow, we can create Spark job, Power BI report, and pipeline. Besides an ingestion, import. All this in a single tool. Let's try to discover how does it work. What if I have no idea about how does it work? Where do I start? Where do I go? Oh, I need to learn. So let's go and learn. This was a recent inclusion in Synapse Analytics, the Knowledge Center. The Knowledge Center is absolutely great. We can start working from the zero and see examples from the very beginning. And we have the elements that we can create inside Synapse Analytics. For example, if I want to create a pipeline for data ingestion, I have many pipeline templates. We are talking about Data Factory, so I'm using Data Factory inside Synapse Analytics. So we have here many pipeline templates here, and many of them includes data flows as well, all being created, ready to be created inside Synapse Analytics. And the fact that I have all these as a sample to start is absolutely great. We have SQL scripts as well, many sample SQL scripts. We have notebooks, Spark notebooks, many of them, and data sets. Data sets is very interesting because if I want to learn that, I will need data sets, I will need data. And these data sets brings to me information from public storage that Microsoft has with real data that we can analyze. We can use this public data to start our learning process in Synapse Analytics. we can start from here. In fact, I prefer start from notebooks and SQL scripts, then the data sets, and we go to ingestion. On notebooks, for example, let's start charting in Synapse Notebook and continue. And it will open a very simple notebook that creates some charts in Spark Pool. It will use the Spark Pool. So it's open. That's it. Here are the Spark code and the graphs created by Spark. That's great. It's using PySpark, and I have other options, .NET Spark, Spark SQL. I have other options. And attached to my Spark pool, which is not started. So when I execute, and I can click Run Now on this pool, and it will start the Spark pool. It will take a while to start the Spark pool, and then execute the notebook. But it's a very simple demo notebook. The result of the execution will be the graphics that I already were here. It's very simple, something very simple. So another example that I like to use is let's browse gallery again, is the first SQL script. I think this first SQL script is absolutely great because it starts from the beginning using only the SQL on-demand pool and makes a very interesting demonstration using the SQL on-demand pool and public data sets. In this case, use the New York taxi data from a public data set. I will not open from there because I created a script with the same content, but with some additions. I included some more stuff in order to improve the demonstration. So let me show him. I have saved scripts. I have the process by what I can publish scripts, and these scripts are stored in the environment of the Synapse Analytics. So I have published scripts, and in this case, these are my scripts I created, and I just open it and start executing. And I'm connected to built-in. So, this means that I'm connected to SQL on demand. It only charged me by the amount of terabyte transfer only. The first thing I have here, select top 100. It's a New York taxi data. It's hosted in a public storage account kept by Microsoft. Microsoft has this public storage account kept by it. And I'm using a function open row set to read the data through APIs on HTTPS, the storage account API. And the path is not even simple because the data is stored in different folders by years and months. So I'm saying here to get all the folders by year, all the folders by month, and all the Parquet files. And I will execute this, and I'm restricting to select top 100 because the amount of data there is really huge. It's really for big tests. You can use for performance tests to see the result of the cluster. What happened? What, I cancel this? No. I may have double-clicked that. So it's executing the query. Yes, I have 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. So it takes some seconds. This is reading the table of the taxi rides and bringing to me taxi rides information. Many taxi rides information. Besides that, I have here a table containing holidays. Let's see the best use of my last 5 minutes I can make. So I have a table here containing holidays. And to make an example a bit different, instead of getting data from the public Microsoft environment, I'm getting data from my private data blob storage, my private blob storage. And this code here creates a master key encryption, sets a credential object. No problem with that. I will not execute because I executed again. I executed before. And I'm creating an external data source. Yes, when I'm using a database inside a serverless pool, a SQL on-demand pool, I can create an external data source. It's interesting to note here, I can see the database, and this database in New York Tax is on the serverless pool. The icon is a bit different. And what we don't have here are tables. We don't have tables here. We have external objects. We can access information from outside the pool. We can't access information inside the pool. But I can't access information inside the pool, but I can create what is called an external table object. I can create an external table object and make it easier for me to read the information in the pool. The object is already created. I will just make a query of the top 100 from the external table. But when I execute this select, it's going to my blob storage, authenticating with the authentication data from my blob storage. Let's make something more complex here. I will get the summary of the tax rights, the amount of tax rights by year between the years 2009 and 2019. So 2 minutes. So I'm getting the summary of these tax rights. Let's hope it's fast. It's not that fast. Meanwhile, we see the charting. I believe it already executed on Spark. So we see the same then when I open the notebook. The results are the chart. But the point is that I got a Spark code in a Spark notebook and executed in the same environment where I'm executing SQL code. And in this SQL code, I'm reading data from an external environment that I have no idea where it is. In this case, an external blob storage kept by Microsoft, and I'm reading it through HTTPS. It's aggregating information, so unfortunately it's taking longer than I expected. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish this example. So executing.
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, sorry. What I would show on this example, and unfortunately I can't show, is that the results panel allow me to put graphics here. To put graphics here. And just to wrap up, just show some screens. I have here Power BI objects. I can have here Power BI datasets and Power BI reports inside the Synapse environment, and I have data flows to make the ingestion of data. This is Data Factory. data factory inside Synapse Analytics. So what Microsoft created is a great Swiss plate, evolving the tools so now we can do everything from a single point. One tool to rule them all. Like I said on the beginning, feel free to connect. You have all my contacts. I would love to get questions and questions. Feel free to send questions on my direction. Thank you very much for attending this session.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for this session. I don't see any question and we don't have much time, so we'll take a break now. The next session is in 15 minutes by Eitan Blumin, back to Hebrew. So stay with us. See you soon. Thank you.